Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Adrian Winter Atwell. I am a FIDE master from Trinidad and Tobago, and today I will be teaching you about the rudiments of the game. What are those things that you're supposed to do after you learn how to move the pieces? Where do you put the pieces? What kind of plans should you take? All of this coming right away. If you like this video at the end, please subscribe and hit the like button. I will see you in a little bit. Bye bye for now. Okay, my friends, welcome back and let's get started. In this segment, I'm going to talk about basically what to do after you learn how to move the pieces. Okay, so let's go straight to that. So first of all, we have to try to control the center. So after, let's say, e4, black plays e5, and both players are controlling the center with pawns. Okay, so this is very important to do at the beginning of the game. After we control the center, notice that the bishop is able to come out, and also there is room even for the queen to come out, although we do not want to bring the queen early. After that, it is time to bring out pieces. So we're not going to be pushing too much pawns. We're going to work with pieces. So I bring out my knight. This knight is attacking this pawn. Black is going to defend that pawn with this knight. So this is basic development. I could bring out my bishop now. Black could also bring out his bishop. He should. And then here I will bring out my next knight. And here black could also bring out his knight. Notice in just a couple of moves, both players have 3 pieces out. Okay, both black and white, and they are both controlling the center. After this, we should castle. Okay, so I'm going to take my king and move it 2 squares towards the rook, and I castle. Black will do the same, move the king 2 squares towards the rook and castle. After this, it's time to get this bishop out. So I'll push this pawn 1 square forward. Black plays pawn 1 square forward. And then I will bring the bishop to g5. This bishop is now pinning this knight. Notice that if this knight moves, this bishop could capture the queen. So black here should play something like bishop to e6. This bishop move is especially important to defend this square on d5. Now notice if I go back and remember what I said, you cannot move your knight because then bishop will just take the queen. So this is something we have to avoid. Okay, so going back. But after bishop g5, you could play bishop a6. And notice just 7 moves, only 7 moves, and you have control of the center, each one with a pawn. And you have all your minor pieces. Minor pieces are knights and bishops. All of them are out for both black and white. So this is very simple development, very basic, but very, very important. Okay, I will see you in the next session about what are the plans with this setup and what happens if one of the players does not do the right thing. I will see you on that one in a little bit. Okay guys, welcome back. Let's see what happened with the moves that I was talking about. So let's talk about after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, knight to c3, knight to f6, castle, castle, pawn to d3, pawn to d6. What are the plans from here? What does white want to do? What does black want to do? Well, the first stage of this plan is to make sure you develop your pieces to good squares. And here white and black are doing just perfect in that area. It's now the threats that are coming. White plays the move bishop g5, and this is coming with a little threat, or could maybe a big threat. Here I recommend bishop to e6. Now notice, let's say black plays something different, like pawn to a6. This looks like, okay, a normal move. I just push my pawn to a6. It's a pawn move. But now here, the whole idea of white will come to play with knight to d5. What is this doing? Well, this is putting a lot of pressure on this knight that is already pinned to the queen. For example, if knight takes, then bishop takes queen, that is a free queen, and therefore you shouldn't take. Now, if it is that you want to play bishop e6 now, it's a bit late after knight takes check. Notice that the knight attacks the king with a check. The knight is also defended by the bishop, so you shouldn't take with your queen. You have to take with the pawn. But then this bishop comes here attacking your rook. Your rook is worth 5 points, so you do not want to exchange a rook for a bishop. So rook moves to the side now. And at this point, knight to h4. Notice with this idea, white is now attacking the king. What was the main point? Well, damage the pawn structure in front of the king. Now there is an open file in front of the black king. And in this game, black played the move bishop takes bishop, which ended up being a very bad move because now there is a combination for checkmate. White could take the bishop, but this will just miss the big move here. You could pause here the video for a minute to see if you can find the combination, the checkmate. Okay, so you could pause it now. All right, so I will give you the answer. The answer is queen to g4 check, attacking the king, not even paying attention to this bishop. The king only move is to h8, and now queen to g7 checkmate. So this was the idea. When I go back here, this is the idea with bishop g5. Bishop g5 is threatening to put the knight on d5. This is why in this position black played or plays, or supposed to play bishop to e6 to defend this square. In this kind of position, there are certain squares that are very important, that are d5 and f5. White always aims to put a knight in those squares. And for black, d4 and f4. Black always aims to see if he could have a knight on those squares. That will generally help him to create an attack or to gain initiative. So this is all for this little segment. I just wanted to show you this idea. And of course, remember, bring out your pieces, control the center, and castle. Don't forget to castle. I will see you in a little bit for a third video with more ideas. Okay, everyone, welcome back. And now with more ideas about how to play chess at the very beginning, what to do after you learn how to move the pieces, what is next, what is happening. Well, here we are going to learn how to defend against the 4-move checkmate. Now, what is that coach is talking about? Well, when you are a beginner, a lot of other beginners try to win very quickly. There is this little weapon called the shepherd checkmate, where your opponent will try to checkmate you in just 4 moves. And if you are not prepared, you will fall for it one after another time. So let's go and try to learn about this. So let's see how it works then. After the move e4, e5, white plays the move bishop c4. This is one of the ways white could try. Let's say here you go with bishop to c5, copying your opponent's move, and your opponent goes now with queen to h5. What is this weird move doing? Well, here your opponent is attacking 2 pieces. He is attacking actually 2 points, the pawn and this pawn here. Generally, people reply with pawn to d6, and then they get checkmated. Queen takes f7. This is checkmate. Black has nowhere to go. Black cannot capture the queen because the bishop is defending the queen, and the king cannot go anywhere. So this is just game over. Black is totally lost. White has won the game. So let's go back then. So in chess, paying attention to every single move of your opponent is extremely important, especially at the beginning of the game. So to avoid all this plan, here my recommendation. After the move bishop to c4, you could just play knight to f6. This will save you from all those troubles of your opponent, because if your opponent plays queen here, then you could go knight takes queen, and that will be a free queen. Okay, and notice that sometimes your opponent may try the same 4-move checkmate with a move like queen to f3. On second move, queen to f3, with the idea of delivering a checkmate right here. Notice pointing like this. So he's looking to play queen takes f7 checkmate. So with this idea, we could just play something like knight here to block this queen from capturing f7. But notice here, very important notice, all right, here, is that after bishop c4, knight f6, it stops all those ideas. The ideas of queen f3, the idea of queen h5. So after this, you could just continue with your normal development. So remember, maybe your opponent at this point of time will give up the idea of checkmating you quickly. He might just bring out his knight. At this point, you could also bring out your knight. He might just bring out also his knight. You could bring your knight. And then you could end up playing normal variations where you just have to develop your pieces. And if your opponent plays, let's say, bishop to g5, you play bishop to e6, and you are here, a position that is totally equal for both players and that you could enjoy without too much dangers. Okay, so well, that is all for this segment, and I hope to see you soon for more videos. Bye bye.